Hey Geek Fam, Joshua here. Welcome back to the Geek Impulse YouTube channel. So the reason we're here today is because the internet is freaking out about the first photos of Brie Larson in her Captain Mar-vell suit. So today we're going to discuss that and get into some of the history and theories surrounding Marvel's first superhero woman lead in a film. So what is up with this teal suit? Well, it's actually a version of the suit from the original Captain Mar-vell comics. One thing to keep in mind is that the movie Brie Larson is doing takes place in the 90s, and of course will be her origin story. I do believe, however, she will be in the post-credit scene of Infinity Wars in the more recognizable outfit. The Captain Mar-vell film is slated to come out in 2019, and I imagine, though, she will be in other Avengers movies. One of my theories is that she gets her powers from a Kree DNA splicing accident similar to what happened to her in the comics themselves. This theory is reaffirmed by the color scheme of her outfit and the fact that we know the Kree soldier Mar-vell will be in the film, played by none other than Jude Law. So of course, what better way of honoring her Kree roots than with a silver and teal suit? Although it could actually be a reference to the green and black suit worn in the MCU's space organization called SWORD. SWORD, for those of you who are unfamiliar with the organization, it stands for Sentient World Observation Response Department, because we all know Marvel loves their quote-unquote fun acronyms. We get an Easter egg, though, for SWORD during the Season 5 premiere of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., where they reference the organization, and this all makes sense when you pair it all with what Kevin Feige said in his interview about the future of the MCU and how it will be headed into a more cosmic direction, and this interview, of course, can be found in an issue of last November's Vanity Fair. Having an organization, though, connect with the Earth-based heroes would be, of course, a great way to further the MCU for its new films in the coming years, as Hollywood is hoping to continue to cash in on geek culture since they still cannot seem to come up with their own stories. But I digress. And of course, my sources at Disney Studios have assured me that we will be seeing the more recognizable red and gold suit once she officially joins the current MCU timeline. So I'm confident that, as I mentioned above, she will be rocking it in a post-credit scene. Some fun facts, though: Brie Larson has actually been training with the U.S. Air Force since, as we know, she is an Air Force captain in the comics who flies jets. Because of this fact, this is where the captain in Captain Mar-vell comes from. Captain America himself actually gave her the advice to stop calling herself Miss Marvel and instead call herself Captain Mar-vell. Now let's switch gears and get into a little bit of history for everyone. The green costume we are seeing by Brie Larson was the very first version of the suit worn by a Captain Mar-vell character which debuted in the 1960s. Dr. Walter Lawson was the first Captain Mar-vell, and in that version he was a Kree soldier sent to infiltrate Earth. He then assumes the identity of Dr. Walter Lawson, and that is a person who is being played by Jude Law in the film. Dr. Lawson actually goes on several adventures with the Avengers for a few decades. During this time, we have the Kree Skull War, where he almost dies a few times. He is also one who battles Thanos to take the Cosmic Cube from him. Then in the later years of the comics, they introduced a Miss Marvel character, Carol Danvers. She got her powers in the comics from an accident caused by a device being used as a weapon by John Raga. The writers and producers of the current film were concerned that if they stuck with a comic book version of her origin story, it would look way too much like the Green Lantern story, so they're going to change that. And for you hardcore fans, just expect some minor changes to the story, but nothing to freak out too much about. The Captain Mar-vell movie is actually being filmed right now, and the rumor is Kobe Smulders and Samuel L. Jackson have showed up on set, so this adds to my speculation that she will be in one of the Avengers film's post-credit scenes. Especially when we see her introduced in the post-credit scene, we will see her in her present-day outfit, because in the current set, Nick Fury has been seen with one eye, and during the 90s, we know Nick Fury still has both of his eyes, so if he has one eye right now on the set, that means, well, you guessed it, they are filming a post-credit scene. One of my issues is that her costume right now is more of a military type of style. For me, I do prefer the original, where she did show some midriff. And this suit is what she wears when she was stuck in binary. And when she's stuck in binary, she becomes more empowered on a cosmic level, similar to such as hulking out, where she can absorb energy as well as energy weapons, and then can redirect that energy towards any one of her enemies that she decides to. So, for example, in the comics, she has sometimes needed a power-up, and one of the Avengers shoots energy at her to charge her up. One of the biggest examples I could think of is when Iron Man blasted her with the arc reactor itself. Because of the character's military background as well, she could actually be one of the better candidates to lead the Avengers into the new cycle of films when they transition out of the current lineup. I also believe Spider-Man also has the ability to be a leader in the Avengers as well. However, as we know, he is still a kid, and in Infinity War, he just is getting his spidey senses. There's a good chance that either some of the Avengers die in Infinity War, or at least get their butts kicked, and rally with someone such as Captain Mar-vell in Avengers 4. Due to the fact of her ability to absorb energy, it will play a pivotal role or turning point in the next Avengers film. And it could be used possibly to give the Avengers the upper hand, especially since she has experience fighting cosmic beings by this point. I don't believe, however, she could withstand a blast from the Infinity Gauntlet itself, though a blast from one of the Infinity Stones could be nothing for her to absorb. We have seen in the MCU films, however, they seem to have toned down the scale of power that the characters have. We saw it, for example, in Thor with regards to Odin, because he was a lot less powerful than in the comics. So tell me, Geek Fam, do you think we can expect to see Sword in the MCU? What did you think about the new suit? Do you think Brie Larson can pull it off as Captain Mar-vell? Let us know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to give us a like and hit that subscribe button. Remember to find us on Twitter and Snapchat at luxury_geek, and on Instagram at Geek Impulse. I look forward to speaking with you guys and continue the conversation on social. Have a great day, Geek Fam. Peace.